Good morning, Twitch TV, and welcome to our weekly community catch-up. My name is Andy Belford. I am the community manager for Waystone Games, aka the makers of Dawngate, a brand new MOBA that is currently in closed beta and accepting applications for testers. So if you want to sign up for the beta, click down there. I think right there where it says "Shape the Future of Dawngate," and you can actually be a part of the beta. So, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. So what is this? So every Tuesday and Thursday we show our daily playtest that we do here internally as a team. But on Wednesdays, what we do is we catch up a little bit more about what's going on within the community, what we've been working on in the game, and we give you guys a chance to ask a question and answer of members of the development team. So joining me in a little bit is going to be Caleb Neccobus. I'm still Catbus. Caleb Catbus. I'm just gonna start calling him Catbus. Catbutt. Even better. Oh my goodness. Catbutt Epps. So we're going to be talking about some cool new stuff there, some cool new content, and some stuff from a brand new shaper that I believe you're going to have a chance to play this Friday. And if you tune into our stream tomorrow, you'll get a chance to actually see him be played. But today we're going to be talking about some stuff. So no gameplay today specifically, but we'll have some cool stuff to share with you guys. So what's been going on with the community? Well, right now, actually, I want to take a moment and show off and highlight one of the community sites that's kind of sprung up in the last 3 weeks that we've been around. Unbelievable just how quickly these websites and blogs and podcasts and everything is just springing right up out of the community. It's humbling to say the least. But right now, actually, I want to focus on one that's been doing some really cool stuff. And that I could see, if they continue on, being a really great asset for the community in the future. And that is MOBA Champion, actually. And let me switch over to them over here. There we go. So this is MOBAchampion.com, and what they're doing is they are basically kind of creating a great little database of all of the things that are in game right now. So for people who are new to the game, who have never played Dawngate before, if you've played Dawngate before, maybe you want to take a look at the different shapers, because right now in our beta we don't actually have a shaper gallery, so to speak, where you can go in and look at the details on each shaper prior to playing them. So this is a really kind of a good stopgap for the time being until we get that in the game. Again, super early beta. These things are all on the There's strange noises happening behind me. Sorry, guys. These things are all on the in the pipeline to be worked on, but for right now, the community is definitely stepping up and offering this. So what can we do here? Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to click on one of my favorites here. How about we look at Zeri? I love Zeri. And this kind of has an overview of Zeri about what her abilities are right here. And see, that's very useful, especially if you're trying to learn how to play Zeri. There is also, if you look right here, a bio tab. And there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff in there about lore. Some early work on recommended items for Zeri as well, what people consider core. And I'm sure this is going to change as we go on. This is actually really super useful. And Zeri is a shaper that I think people primarily, and personally, I primarily play her as a tactician, but I definitely have seen her played as a kind of a gladiator role, or maybe even a predator role. And keep in mind, though, Zeri also has some really good synergy regardless of the items that you build with, but that's just my personal opinion. And then there's a guide section which is coming soon, and I'm guessing that's gonna be populated by the community actually building these different guides and stuff. They're also working on a item database as well, which is pretty cool. Doesn't look like they have a whole lot of added functionality to this section just yet, but I'm pretty sure that's all coming. They've got a repository of all the different spells that are in game. selection or a description of the different roles. So if you want to know what the different roles do, you can check that out. And then also, if you look at the tools, then they've also got a Stream Browser Chrome extension. So actually, if you want to get the Chrome extension, you can watch the Twitch TV Downgate live streams in that as well. I think it's has whichever ones are live at the time in the extension. So I know that I could see me using this site quite a bit, and I'm definitely interested to see how it evolves over the coming months. So as a community, definitely check them out, give them your support, and let's hope that and definitely be contributors as well. That's a huge part of it, is that these sites need community contributions. So keep your eye on it. I'm sure that they'll have many opportunities for you to contribute later on down the road. So moba-champion.com. I would check that out if you are a budding or even at this point kind of an experienced Downgate player. So there you go. That is that. So thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our audio director. By the way, chat, how is the audio right now? Is it good? Is it good? I'm waiting for the response. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce our audio director, Caleb Neccobus, Cat Butt. It's going to just evolve into Cat Butt. Oh no, scooch over on this side, because I'm going to have to. Talk about all sorts of different stuff. You'll have to get in closer, sir, because. No, closer to the mic.
Oh, closer to the mic. Hi.
There we go.
Oh my God, it's delayed feed. Hi.
I know it's delayed feed. Let me do this. I'm gonna hide the video because that's distracting.
Isn't it?
Seeing yourself on camera is very distracting. So don't forget that the camera's right here, so we have to look at the camera right there and talk.
Hey,
I feel like I should move the camera over.
Right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Centered.
So yes, closer to Skara. This is never going to end. I'm going to always be called Skara, I think.
I know.
That's
you
okay.
were just like Scar and Cat Butt.
Scar and Cat Butt.
Together again.
Skara and Cat Butt in the morning.
Okay.
Wow. Sorry.
Every time I come here, we just go immediately to Crazy Town.
We do, indeed. Evidently, I've been watching. Oh wow, it's way off center. Okay, hold on. Let me just do this. I'm just going to do this.
Perfect.
There we go. That's much better, don't you think? I think the feed will appreciate that at home. Yeah. I've been watching way too much Community. That's why. I binge watch Community on Hulu, and it's impossible to get their antics out of your head sometimes.
It's true. I binge play console games.
You binge play console games?
I do.
You binge play MOBAs as well, though. I see you playing MOBAs a lot, too.
It's true. Yeah, I was playing some little bit of ARAM with
ARAMs
with Hunter,
and
and Dave.
Right. Well, and that's actually part of an interesting segue into part of why you are here, actually. And by here, I mean the collective here as a part of the Downgate team. Mm-hmm. Where were you before? Tell us. Give us your origin story, Neccobus.
My origin story. So I was an audio lead at a studio called Harmonix.
Harmonix? Yeah. Why does that name sound familiar?
Over in Boston. I'm from Boston originally and love games and love music, so it was sort of a great fit for me, and was there working. I can actually say what I was working on before I came here. I was working on their new title, Fantasia Music Evolved. Exciting. Coming.
Fantasia Music Evolved.
Yeah, it got announced yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I was working on that, and was spending a ton of time playing MOBAs in basically all my free time, and developed a huge love for the genre, and saw a job opening over here to audio direct a new title, came out, and I played, I came out here, on super short notice, came out, was here for 3 hours, flew right back to Boston, but I got to play the game while I was here. And this was about a little over a year ago now, and Downgate, as it was then, was already super, super fun.
Right.
And I was like, I'm in, I want to, but the weird thing was it had no sound, literally none. But this game was already back then was super mechanically sound and super fun, and I loved playing it. I played in the playtest and got completely hooked, and so I I signed on to come out here and have been putting all the sounds in the game. And yeah, it's been a great.
It's been a great ride
so far.
By the way, the folks don't believe you're from Boston. You're Baston.
Oh, because I don't have an accent.
You're not saying "ka."
It's true. My mother's English, and my dad's from Louisiana, so I'm this weird mix. But I grew up. I guess I shouldn't rep Boston proper. I'm a Cambridge brat, so I grew up across the river in Cambridge.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just a university brat, but totally from the greater Boston area.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So sometimes you do pack a cat at the garden.
Yeah, for $1.25.
$1.25,
What's that artichoke hat to Stan Market? Wicked, kid.
Wicked. That's wicked pissa.
Yeah.
Wicked. All right. Anyways, wow, that's fun. So, as an audio director, can you tell me what are some of the challenges you think that are unique to creating an audio experience within a game like Dawngate?
Sure. So, in short, the hardest thing to do on the audio side is there are two things. One is to manage the chaos.
Okay.
Because in a linear kind of game, you can always sort of craft the audio experience. If you've got a single player, or even sometimes in a multiplayer game, you're always dealing with each individual player's perspective.
Right.
Whereas, basically, because of the camera angle in a MOBA, you kind of have to build an audio system and an audio landscape and cross your fingers and kind of hope that everything works out, because there's so much variability in the audio landscape of a MOBA. You can be quietly walking through the jungle, or you can be in the middle of a 5-on-5 Crazy Town team fight with ults going off everywhere. And so building tools to manage that mix and to manage each individual player's audio experience is really an important part of the sound design for this game. I love character action games.
Okay.
I love Ninja Gaiden, God of War a little less so. Love the Devil May Cry series especially. Devil May Cry 3, so good. Also, just brief aside to any character action fans out there who have not played the Ninja Theory Devil May Cry DMC, play it until after you get past mission 13 and then talk to me about it.
Okay.
Because that game blew me away, and it's in its back half, it's so amazing. Anyway, I tangent. Character action, an important thing, the reason why I'm talking about character action games is that the sound design for character action games always makes the player feel super powerful and super badass.
Right.
And that's sort of what I wanted to do. I wanted each individual player to feel super powerful and super badass. So that's always the sort of baseline approach I take to sound designing any character. And then I basically both have built and am in the process of building a whole bunch of systems to manage the mix and tailor it around the action. So this is a kind of mixed priority system that first came about in the Battlefield series. In Battlefield Bad Company 1, it's this thing called HDR audio, high dynamic range audio.
Okay.
So basically what happens is you set up this big table of priorities of, okay, these sounds are more important than these sounds, and basically as different sounds come in, as they get louder, they reduce the volume of other sounds in the mix.
Okay.
So in Dawngate, for example, our characters have footsteps. But you really only hear them in those really quiet moments.
Okay.
When you're if you're just heading out to lane, you'll hear your character's footsteps. But as soon as anything more important than that starts happening, then the footsteps duck down out of the mix and get out of the way.
Okay.
The design is really trying to encourage clarity in the mix and focusing your attention on what's important.
It sounds like a lot of these things you're talking about are going to be stuff that, and I think that now people who are watching at home are really subtle, right? They're very subtle touches.
It's audio, right? It's 80% of people are just it sounds good.
Well, and that's true. I mean, I think a lot of people out there tend to take audio within a game for granted. I mean, I know I'm guilty personally of, anytime I'm playing an MMO, I turn the music and the in-game music and sound off almost completely, and I've got my music playing in the background,
Totally.
I don't do that in MOBAs because I find that the sound cues cues are super important to you.
Yeah.
You really need that those sound cues to play the game effectively.
Right.
For me, at least.
Well, yeah, that's the sort of other other sort of main prong of my audio approach for this is like, you need to figure out which sounds are important from a gameplay perspective, and make sure that those are both prominent in the mix, but also iconic.
Okay.
It's this weird balance between, you know, every person who makes audio, you want to make audio. You're like, oh, this is a MOBA. They're going to be like, people are going to be playing this game millions and millions and millions of times,
right?
And therefore, you want as much. Initially, you're thinking, oh, I want like 80 billion variations of all the attack sounds in the game,
right,
so that people don't get tired of it, right?
Okay.
But the sort of other side to that is that you want certain sounds to be iconic rather than sort of just realistic, right? They need to be iconic, so they need to be kind of singular, so that when you're playing them, when you're playing Dawngate, you can pick up. As you learn the game, you pick up on particular audio cues, and you then associate that with a particular action that a character is taking. So it helps you to read the action. You know, there's visual stuff happening on screen, sometimes a lot of it, sometimes not so much, but the audio cues are there to help you pick up on, oh, this character's prepping a skill shot, I better dodge. Or, oh, this character just used this particular spell, and that gives me important gameplay information. It's the sound design, you know, I'm trying to walk the line between, you know, this sort of character action-y, super badass, everything sounds super cool, but also being really informational, so that you can understand what's going on in the action, and that we are taking some of the cognitive load off of the player visually and moving it to the oral space, so that people, you know, can just read the game by just listening to it. If you listen to a team fight, you know, the end goal is, if you listen to a team fight with no visual and just listening to the sound, you should hopefully, if I'm doing my job super well, be able to understand the flow of that team fight and what's happening just by listening to the audio.
Just by listening. So you should be able to hear, you know, okay, there was Kel's ult, there was you know, Moya's Q, there was Zeri's E going off. You should be able to hear that sequence. That's like the end goal to it then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a really cool goal, and we definitely would love to hear from the players if we're meeting that goal with the gameplay. You know, I know that Caleb is looking at the forums and looking at the subreddit all the time. So please give us that feedback for sure.
Very much so. Not that many people post directly about audio, so you'll probably see if anybody posts anything about audio, I'm like, let's talk about audio.
Let's talk about
it.
So right on, outstanding. Well, I tell you what, and guys, I do see your questions that are popping up. I'm very glad that you have audio questions for Caleb. Hold on to those, because we're going to do a Q&A section at the end of the stuff we wanted to get out of the way and talk about beforehand, because we actually do have something really cool to talk about today. So we just posted part 2 of our first piece of fan fiction written by Chris Latois.
It's not really fan. It's
not fan
fiction.
It's a game fiction. I said fan fiction because
canon. This is canon.
It's canonical. Yes,
Our writer, number one fan.
Yeah. Number one fan. Yes, he is our number one fan. But that Chris put together, and it's actually a really great piece of work. If you haven't listened to it, you can find it on our forums, and I'll actually let me find where it's at, and I'll link it in the chat so you guys can go and read it if you would like to. And in it, we actually reveal our first brand new shaper that you're going to have a chance to play this Friday in the beta, if you're in the closed beta. And if you tune into the stream tomorrow, you can see our creative director Hunter Howe playing him in our daily playtest. So super exciting. But you'll have a chance to see him. But today we're actually going to talk about some audio aspects
of Varian the Mercenary.
So let me go ahead, and I'm going to jump over here to the Varian window, and I've got all these fancy things loaded up here.
Oh my goodness, amazing.
So this is Varian. First off, you know, he's got I would definitely say, as somebody pointed out before, he's got some swag to him. For sure,
big time swag.
Am I using that word correctly? Is that how the kids are saying it these days? YOLO swag. Don't say that other part.
Okay.
Is YOLO swag blank MLG no scope? I think it was Dawngate.
Exactly.
Yes, that's Scott Moore would be Zyrol SC would be proud of us for saying that. Yeah. There we go, Tyra. Yeah, that. Except for we didn't say that part. Anyways, so let's talk a little bit about some of these guys here.
Sure.
About some of these sounds. So Varian is and we're gonna have him meet the Shaper up on him tomorrow, so you guys can see all of his abilities and everything like that. We'll put that out tomorrow, but we'll talk a little bit about him right now. He is a ranged character, correct?
Yeah, but he has sort of a little bit more. The designers can talk a little bit more sort of intelligently about this. But
yes, absolutely.
He has like a little bit of a caster bent to him.
Yes.
He's not really a pure right click to win kind of carry.
Yeah.
He's his abilities give him a lot of utility, and his abilities remain super viable throughout the course of a match. Some carries it's like you get to a point. I'm a big Caitlyn player in LoL, and so at some point you get to a point where it's like, oh, there's this balance between my abilities sort of my Q sort of becomes useless because the opportunity cost of time to prep it becomes kind of I can just right click you and you die, and so. But Varian's abilities, he's really got a little bit more of an ability focus, and his abilities have tons of utility.
So we don't want to talk too much about the design aspect of him right now, but let's talk about him from an audio kind of design standpoint. What were some of the aesthetics that we were going for to bring out different aspects of his voice of his character within his voiceover?
Sure. So from the voiceover side, we really just wanted to. For starters, he's from the western part of our world,
right?
And so people from the West have a little bit of an accent to them. I came up with this big here's what people from over here sound like, and here's what people from the North sound like, and here's what people from the South sound like. So he's a Westerner. He's got a little bit of an accent, but really he's sort of just got this sort of joie de vivre,
The swag.
Yeah, he's got the swag. He loves to have fun.
Right.
He enjoys, he takes pride in his work, but he, thinks of it as he goes around and kills people, but it's just business. He's really about living life to the fullest, So
live your life to the fullest until I kill you.
Until I kill you.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right.
Well,
okay.
I mean, yeah. You never know when you're going to die.
You never know, and it could be him.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he's really just got just a fun character, and Matt Mercer did his voice, who also did the voice of Fenmore. And it was just super fun working with him in the studio.
What else would we know Matt Mercer from?
Most recently, he played Leon in RE6.
Okay.
And so it was funny. Matt came into the studio, and I immediately looked. He had a messenger bag.
Okay.
And I looked down at the messenger bag and it just said "bag of holding" on it. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy."
This guy,
he gets it, right?
One of us.
Yeah, exactly. So it was funny. With working with him in the studio, we were actually able to just. I always explain sort of gameplay situations to people when we're delivering particular lines, and with him, I could use sort of genre convention shorthand. It's like, oh, here's when you get a jungle buff. Here's when you get a tetra kill or an omni kill.
Okay.
And he just was like, okay, sure, I get it, and immediately sort of put himself in that space. Whereas with other actors who aren't big gamers, we have to be like, well, there are these monsters, and then if you kill the monster, then you get a little bit of a bonus. So it's kind of oh, I'm feeling something nice happening. But with Matt, we just sort of plowed through, and he totally got it.
Okay.
So it was really a pleasure to work with him.
Well, I'll tell you what then, without further ado, before we go any further onto it, why don't we go ahead and we'll play the voiceover that you're going to hear for Varian the Mercenary. And we're just going to play it all the way through a large selection of it.
Yeah, it's 20 or 30 seconds. It's a little taste. We have tons of VO for every character.
Yes, yeah.
So this is just a little taste I put together for you guys.
Just to
get a little flavor.
A little flavor?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so let's see here.
So that would be that guy, yeah.
This guy, and then I'm going to play it right now.
Anything you need, if the price is right.
I can't hear what they're hearing.
Come on, make me work for my pay. I need more shells. Demolition work costs extra.
Still
What, is this target practice? Why do you keep standing up? I'm still shooting! Boom! Who's the best? Varian! Ha! The wine is on me tonight!
So yeah. Yeah,
it?
so
That's it? Okay.
as you guys are seeing in the chat, yeah, like there's it's like the Western accent is basically walks the line between Italian and Russian.
Okay.
It's sort of this like Italio-Russian kind of thing. You know,
Italio-Russians.
That's totally a thing, right?
Yeah,
basically,
sure.
But what I wanted to do, why I picked that, because the West is where is the source, has a ton of, it's a very rich place.
Right.
They also are more technology based than the other parts of the world.
Okay.
So I wanted to evoke sort of the Venetian opulence.
Okay.
And like sort of, you think of like the like old czars and the opulence of that architecture in like St. Petersburg, right? And those were sort of the those flavors that I wanted to evoke with people's voices from the West.
Okay.
So that's why he's got that cool accent.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think when I think of that, I think of like Machiavelli and the especially with his outlook on life. I think like Machiavelli. What was the name of that family? The Borgias. You know, that type of
Except like not horrifically evil.
Except not horrifically evil, right? You know, in even worse ways than being just violent. But I'm a history buff, so I apologize if I digress too much on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do see the questions, guys. Promise you, we'll get to the questions right now. But yeah, definitely the Russian kind of thing that pops out a little bit. By the way, the Borgias, the Borgias are crazy. If you haven't watched that miniseries, you definitely.
No, I haven't seen that actually.
Oh, you should watch it.
Good?
It's good.
My knowledge of the Borgias is like Assassin's Creed. And that's kind of it.
That's a good
Who
reference.
Says you can't learn history from playing games.
Who says you can't learn history? Exactly. Yeah. Some people saying it's Graves. Some people want to hear the voice again. So we'll play it again. We'll play it again for you. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other aspects of Varian the Shaper, because I mean the voiceover is hugely important for us. I mean we've got a lot of different things, including actually the banter system. So
yeah.
Can you explain to the viewers on Twitch here, what exactly is the banter system?
Yeah,
in
I love that
Dawn
it's
Gate?
like the banter system.
The banter system.
I
yes.
named it that anyway. So, so what the banter system is it's basically every character has relationships with a few other characters. Sometimes just one, sometimes more. And there are certain situations that take place in the game that will trigger a little bit of VO banter back and forth between those characters. It could be that, these two characters are on the same team and in close proximity to each other, so maybe they're lane partners.
Right.
Or if everybody's hanging out at the base buying items or something like that, maybe it's just like, they're on the same team, so we'll have them talk to each other. Or they are facing off against each other in a lane, so they are enemies and come within close proximity of each other, and they'll kind of taunt each other a little bit. But basically, all of our characters have sort of relationships that will trigger these VO events, and then the characters talk to each other. So all of our characters talk to some of the other characters. Anybody who they have a relatively close lore relationship with, they will chat with.
Okay.
And it's just like a fun thing that we do that can help us, weave the lore into the actual gameplay, so that even if you're not going and like reading stories or listening to and looking at stuff that we will be releasing later on the lore front, you're still going to get that flavor of the lore and understand the characters' relationships if you're just going in and playing matches.
Okay. And just as an FYI, I just want to answer this really quickly, guys. I do see the questions about asking for beta keys for this one. I'm going to give a couple out at the end of the stream, so asking for them right now definitely won't get you anything. And look at the FAQ below as well, and you can see how we give them out. Even have a link to the extension there, so if you want to check that out. So anyways, all right, so the banter system is really cool. Pay attention to what the shapers are saying to each other next time you're in game. If you're in the beta test, it's actually kind of funny in some ways. There's even a few Easter eggs, and I'm sure there will be many more to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually need to reduced the frequency of some of the Easter egg ones, so they're a little bit more Easter eggy. Anyway,
what is that? A spoffet? What?
What? No, it's a sheep.
It's a sheep. So there are other aspects, though, to Shapers aside from just the voiceover, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Really importantly, like there are parts of the abilities that are very key to kind of communicating, you know, the feel of how the abilities sound. That are key to communicating the feel of the Shaper.
Right.
And it even, for me at least, you know, I know that when I'm playing a character, like I call it crunchiness. It's just like the sounds feel right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They feel like they connect. They feel like they're accomplishing something. So let's play a couple of them.
Yeah.
Here.
So I actually want to talk a little bit about this before we go in.
Okay.
And we'll probably start with the E.
The E. Okay.
Yeah. But every character that when I start approaching them from a sound design standpoint, I play that character obsessively, of course, so that I understand, you know, the mechanics of their kit and the sort of relative importance of their different abilities and what information I need to convey through that ability.
Right.
And then I pick a sort of material to base that Shaper sound design on.
Right.
So, for example, like Nisa, all of her audio kit is based around like ropes and leather and bone.
Right. Okay.
Fenmore, a little bit different to come up with, but his kit's based on like blood and breath.
Okay.
Well, and also wolves.
And wolves.
Yeah.
Blood, breath, and wolves.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Friday night to me. If you're not creeped out, I am.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like slowly back away. Right? But for Varian, obviously he is a guy with a gun. So there's a lot of gun foley stuff mixed in with his kit. Also a bit of metal, a bit of electricity.
Metal or
no, like for example, this E ability that we're about to play for you. Actually, if you could just play it, super quick.
There we go.
Maybe play it again.
All right, I'm gonna play it again. This is his E ability.
Yeah. So this was actually, I made this sound by just taking a metal pipe, and then it's like a lead pipe, like you would bash somebody's head in. You know,
okay.
With, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
that kind of.
I do that all the time.
And if you just take your palm and you kind of hit the bottom of it,
you get a whoop.
Yeah, it makes this like sound.
Okay.
And so that's sort of the basis for the sound. We wanted this really satisfying, like grenade launcher-y kind of sound.
Okay.
I love grenade launchers, just that sound they make, just that kind of sound. So wanted to kind of give it a little bit more of a like readable, almost cartoony flavor to that ability.
Okay.
So,
by the way, if you haven't ever worked on a video game or worked with an audio guy, this is basically what they do: is they sit in their office with all of these different toys and like bobbits and stuff, and just make noises with them.
Yeah,
I'm being a little oversimplifying things right now, but you know, it is true. Like I walk into audio guys' offices all the time, and they're just sitting here. They've got all these things around, and you just look around, you pick things up, and you're like, "What the heck is this for?" And it's this weird. You'll have to bring one of them one time. Like I know
the Vibroslap?
Like the Vibroslap and those things.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all like they have these. They're just for making noises. I mean, it's kind of like a
my bag of shell casings.
Yeah, it's like your bag of shell casings.
I know people would walk into my office and there's like this bag of bullet like shell casings, and
which
like
actually isn't for shell casings though. That's not the sound. You're not trying to make like a shell.
No. It's for coins. And
coins,
and like the sound of money, and like when you kill. If you kill a follower, like one of the little spirit well workers, like that sound is mostly like me throwing a bunch of shell casings into a cloth-lined box that was a giveaway for that Steve gave me. It was a giveaway for people who worked on Dante's Inferno. He happened to have it at his desk, and I was like, "Oh, this cloth-lined box! It would make it sound so poofy and soft. Can I borrow that?" And then I just threw shell casings into it, and it got sort of this.
Oh, look! Look, your Vibroslap. So this is this is one of the crazy. This is one of the crazy things.
Make a GIF of that.
I know. How do you? What is that? How do you do that again? Just go like this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of loud. That's kind of awesome.
That is like the sound of West Coast hip hop, right? No, I'm 100% serious. I always say this.
California.
Yeah, like the start of Nothing But a G Thing.
Nothing but that is.
Right.
That actually is.
This? That's the first sound you hear is a vibroslap.
Okay, yeah,
that was the worst,
wow.
worst rendition of Nothing But a G Thing ever.
Whatever, I don't listen. I'm sorry, I'm terrible.
But yeah, no, the vibroslap is super cool. Actually, our back ping, if you hold down Control and click to do a back ping, a warning ping, that's like a lot of vibroslap in that, and that's actually what I brought this in. I was like, like I want it to sound a little bit like a rattlesnake, which is a little dangerous, and so a vibroslap kind of sounds like that. And so yeah, I just sort of mixed. There's like a little bit of vibroslap in there.
Okay, all right, interesting.
That's why I have vibroslap.
Boy, everybody's talking about Zeri. They're like, talk about the Zeri voiceover. We'll talk about the Zeri voiceover. Okay, so that was that was the gun. We do. We really do.
I paint stuff. Decapitations on Wii, girl stuff.
Zeri is kind of awesome and sadistic, but that's part of her charm, right? So, anyways, but we're talking about gunmen.
Yes, we're talking about Varian.
Which one do you want to go to next?
So I just wanted the sort of story I wanted to tell with the rest of these sounds was that you hear one sound in a game all put together, and it's actually like 5 or 6 different sounds. And so I wanted to kind of, you guys, once you'll get to play on Friday, play Varian, he has an ability, his W ability, and I wanted to just sort of go through and like break that down for you guys and sort of show you all the bits.
Okay, so this is the startup, right?
If you go down a little bit, start with the throw.
The W throw.
W throw.
Okay.
Yeah. Because my naming conventions are the best.
Right.
So that's the sound. If you play it one more time. Of Varian throwing out this ability.
Okay.
And then we have it sort of begins to deploy itself, and if you go, that would be deploy.
Okay.
It's like that sound.
Okay. So this is the deploying itself, and we're not talking about what the ability
does.
We're going to leave that up to your imagination, guys.
And so that's the W deploying itself, and then if you go up to the top, there are those 2 loop bits.
Okay.
It then starts playing a persistent sound, a loop, while it still exists. So it has a loop startup.
Okay.
And then
let's do that one more time. Okay, that's the loop. That's the startup for the W.
Right, that's for the startup for the looping part of it, and then lastly, there's the actual loop that will loop round and round and persist.
All right. All right.
So just
people are trying to break down what this ability does just based on the sound.
We'll never find out. And then actually
until tomorrow.
Right, until tomorrow when we're playing. Haha. And then lastly, there's the last one, that one.
This one right here, the one that says redacted?
Yeah, W redacted.
W redacted.
So that's on the reactivation of the ability.
Okay.
It's reactivatable.
It's reactivatable, yes. This
and
is true.
So, yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
All those sounds, all stacked up together in different parts, all make up that one ability.
Okay. Do you have like did you send me one that's like all of them together?
I totally didn't send you one that's all of them together.
You should have sent them all together.
I know, I'm the worst. I'm
sorry. So what else do we don't have his R. You don't have his R or his Q.
I just wanted to talk about those 2 sounds because I thought they were like, little good talking points.
They are very good talking points.
And we have...
You sent me one more thing here, and this is...
Yeah, I have like another really cool thing to share with you guys. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for, when will we put the music up on SoundCloud? When will we make the music available, et cetera, et cetera. Short answer to that is I think we'll look to do so shortly.
Right.
Andy and I basically need to talk about this.
Yeah, we need to figure out when's the right time to do that.
Right, exactly. I want to put stuff up for... A lot of our music is made to be looped.
Yes.
And I'd prefer to put up arranged versions.
Did you hear the remix, by the way?
Yes.
Hold on, I'm gonna play this real fast here.
The Dawngate remix.
The Dawngate remix. Here it is. Okay. So hopefully you guys should be able to hear this on the stream.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to.
Is it playing?
It's not playing yet. Hold on. This.
So yeah, the guys over at Dawn Realm.
The guys at Dawn Realm remixed this already.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So extra points to you guys if you guys are watching for making a version with a drop.
Yeah, I know.
Only the heaviest drops will do.
Yes.
I only accept the heaviest drops. Yeah.
Anyways. John Pop, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But this is super, super awesome that people are already taking this stuff and remixing it.
It's hilarious. It's awesome. I mean, it's great.
We want to make it. We will be making more stuff available very soon. But I want to do fully arranged versions. So obviously, like the login screen music, the main theme for Dawn Gate is already arranged and beautiful and wonderful.
And then we have the wub version that I played at the beginning.
Wubs, yeah.
The wubs.
Yeah, the wubs are.
Which is actually that's the character select, right?
That was a version of the character select. It's actually just the wubs now.
Just the wubs. Yeah, that's true.
It may make a reappearance at some point. I don't know.
Okay, all right. We have that option.
Yes, we do.
So what's this other one
this is actually brand new stuff that actually is not in the game yet. I just wanted to share some in progress stuff. I've been working with. We have two composers working on the project. Jeff Broadbent, who did the score to I Am Alive, did the score to PlanetSide 2.
Okay.
So he's been doing a bunch of music. He did our main theme and sort of all of our sort of front end music, I like to call it.
Okay.
And I've been working on a set of music for in game with him. And our other composer is Andrea Chang, who's actually here at Waystone,
working with us. Yep.
Who
had the most awesome wedding ever, but we're not going to go into that.
Oh my God, so awesome! When you have her on, you need to ask her.
Yes,
about
we will.
And Andrea, all the in-game music that's in the game right now, Andrea did that. Andrea did the wubs. So she is super awesome, and she will just continue to be adding more and more and more and more music into the game.
For sure.
I've been working with Jeff on a suite of in-game music, and so I wanted to share. Oh yeah, are we still?
People want a link to the Dawn Gate
remix.
The Dawn Gate remix.
Remix. And
sorry.
Greatest hype man in the history of everything.
Yes.
Well, Zwillex.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah. So, if somebody can Photoshop Zwill with the Skrillex hair, I will pay you all the non-existent monies, all the spirit, all the vim you can use. You can buy all the destructions.
Anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress again. I'm sorry. So I've been working on some in-game music with Jeff, and we're looking to expand the amount of in-game music to be about 10 times what it is now. So I come from a background being at harmonics.
Not 2, not 3, but 10.
I love dynamic music systems. I love music that reacts to what you do.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of my time at harmonics working on sort of various prototypes for dynamic music and all that kind of fun stuff. So
wow.
Early announcement, provided I can pull it off. I think I can pull it off. We're looking to sort of move to a dynamic music system in Dawn Gate, and so this is a piece of music from one of the sort of in progress tests.
And just to set expectations appropriately on that,
I don't know when it'll be coming in
development.
Yeah,
this is not something that's like officially out there. You're going to see in game even within probably the next month, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would say
it's going to take a little while because we have to make all the hookups and all that kind of stuff. But sneak peek.
Yes, we want to
right
do it.
Now.
So this piece right here that you want me to play.
Yeah.
What is this?
So this is. I hesitate to sort of peg it to a particular thing, but this is basically sort of just like a nice like baseline piece of music for when you're in lane fighting or in jungling. So we can just kick it off and let people listen.
So this is kind of like you have it's titled neutral.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of when the game is at a point where it's not hot, like it's basically you're doing kind of the stuff leading up to.
Yeah, we'd end up going into a whole talk about an in-progress design
event
that really may change.
We'll see.
It's a music cue.
It's a music cue.
Yeah,
all right, here's one music cue. righty. Yes, we were
Cool.
having fun reading your comments there, guys.
Yeah.
So that was I listened to it previously. It was nice. I like that.
Thanks.
Very good piece of music.
Yeah, I think it has some nice callbacks to the sort of main theme for the game, and yeah, I mean the Assassin's Creed 3
Correlation there, yeah.
correlation is not that far
Comparison.
off. I had the score for Assassin's Creed 3 stuck in my head for like a month solid while I was playing that game and after, and I would just like walk around with that main theme in my head and being like, make it stop, it's so good.
I actually haven't played the game yet, so I'm kind of looking forward to giving it a go. So
Yeah, it's a little
don't ruin it for me
no,
because
I won't.
I've played like all the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, the beginning is great.
Yeah.
The beginning is great.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, I just wanted to answer. There are people talking about Necco spelling.
Well, actually, I'm going to cut you off.
Oh, no.
We've got like 10 minutes left, so
talk about spelling.
let's do some Q&A real
Yeah, let's
quickly,
do it.
and that can be your first question.
My first question.
Okay, so somebody asked, isn't Necco spelled N-E-K-O?
Yes, it
not
is.
N-E-C-C-O?
Yes, it is.
But Caleb, I'm sure you have an interesting story.
I have an interesting story about this. So when I first, I was a huge fan of My Neighbor Totoro, Tonarino Totoro. I'm just going to keep pimping my Japanese pronunciation.
No, go for it, man.
And when I was younger, and so when I think it was probably on Xbox Live was the first place where I was like, oh, I'll name myself Neccobus. That'll be awesome.
Okay.
Obviously, Neccobus spelled correctly because I'm late to the party on things was already taken. So I was like, I will come up with an interesting pun. So in Cambridge, Massachusetts, is the factory where Necco wafers are made. It's the Necco factory, and so it's like Necco wafers and like Tootsie Rolls and Junior Mints. So if you walk through that part of town, it's like smells amazing.
Okay.
But so it's a little play on words. So like Necco wafers plus bus.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it's NECCO bus. It's a way to get around
Because of
people
cookies.
having that name.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
So if you have a question about audio, I would go ahead and pop it into the chat. Put a Q and then a colon mark in front of it so that we can grab the questions easily pick them out. So if you have a question, throw it into the chat. Make sure it's about audio, guys. We can't really answer gameplay questions since neither Caleb nor I are gameplay designers. So let's get some audio questions out there. First question.
I'll take BK Pride 101's.
Well, hold on. Let me.
wait.
Where's BK? We got to read it out so everybody
Okay.
knows what we're answering. So
right, well,
BK Pride 101 is asking, what type of compressors do we use? What type of compressors? What type of VSTI programs like NI Massive do you use to create your sounds? I would love to work with these sounds.
Okay, so basically, this is basically like gear question, right? It's like, what gear do we use? We use a whole combination of stuff. In terms of effects and compressors, I use Isotope Ozone 5 on like just about everything that goes into the game. It is like this combination EQ, compressor, volume limiter. It's like a big mastering suite, and it is like amazing. It's sort of the closest thing. I remember there was this old Simpsons episode where like Bart was in a boy band and they sing into a mic and they all sound terrible and they're like, oh, just hit the studio magic button, and like they hit the button and it sounds amazing. Ozone's like the closest thing to that I've ever found, and it's awesome. I also use sort of a lot of standard stuff, waves, etc., etc. One thing in my toolbox that a lot of people don't use that another sound designer, Michael Casely, who worked on Dead Space 3, turned me on to are these plugins called the Ubic plugins by this company, UHE. Really small plugin outfit, and their plugins are amazing.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give them props because I use their stuff all over Dawngate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question I see here is, what's the most fun doing audio for, human or non-human characters? That's a good question, actually.
That is a good question. I think that non-human characters are probably more fun. They're way harder because, you have to kind of it usually involves a lot more work to get the kind of sound that you want because you're, going off into the unknown. But like doing sound like Desecrator sounds, like I love Desecrator sounds. Yeah, doing like VO processing for non-human characters is a ton of work. I did probably 15 or 16 different revisions on the VO processing pipeline for Desecrator to get it where I wanted to, and I still might tweak it again.
Okay.
Non-human characters are way more work, but way more fun.
Okay. Bravima is asking, what, in your opinion, is the most overall satisfying sound you've put into Dawn Gate so far?
There's a sound for a Shaper that's not released yet that I absolutely love. Of what's in the game right now, I hate to do ties, but I'm going to do a tie. I think Cerulean's ult, his dunk, is like super, super, super satisfying. It has like this really nice...
Crunchy.
Yeah, it's crunchy. It's got this like reverse sword shing that kind of leads into it, so it gives you that like nice anticipation of like, oh, I'm about to dunk on somebody. It's amazing. And then in terms of like detail, I think Moya's ult is super, super cool because it's just got a lot of little detail in the sound. Like it's got this sort of great spinning sound and like all these different bits in it. Yeah, that I'm really, really proud of that sound.
Yeah, that's very true. It's like those are two of the ones that I can definitely like. Cerulean's ult's got this very like chunk kind of, and that's about how I describe the sound I hear when I hear Cerulean's ult. Like I know when that goes off because it's like kerchunk, kerchunk. And then with Moya, it's kind of like a, I don't know, like what I would call it. I call it kind of a build up for me. That's the feeling I get from Moya's ult. So
yeah.
Another question we had in there: why is Zeri so awesome?
Zeri is so awesome for a combination. There's a combination of factors. Chris Latoile, our writer, just wrote an amazing script for Zeri, and Megan Hollingshead, the actress who did her voice. Megan's
also did what Nurse Michaela and Nurse Joy and
Officer Jenny for Pokemon. For the Pokemons.
Yes.
The Pokemons.
And
she just totally killed it. We had so much fun that day, and we were just sort of all cracking up. It was the same when like Nikki Rapp was doing Dibs' VO as well. Yeah. We were just all cracking up in the studio, just like having an amazing time, and just like, Zeri just has so much attitude. She's just like, she's my absolute favorite.
Well,
she's great.
The script is that she's, cute and totally adorbs, right? But, with this kind of completely maniacal edge to her, and that just perfectly comes across in her VO. So if you have a chance, you should definitely play her. And there's a few gameplay videos of her out there. I think one of Jewel, I think, made a YouTube video. So Jewel, I can't remember what her other. She's underscore Jewel though, or something like that. But definitely look up a Zeri gameplay video by her. It's you can hear all the different things that she says in there. Because I think she's even like in a game with Kel, so you can hear the back and forth there.
Nice.
Somebody else had a question about, and I'm going to rephrase this because we're not talking about business model just yet, but what is your opinion on, I should say, instead of are we going to have, because we're not talking business model, but what's your opinion on things like announcer packs or VO packs for Shapers and stuff like that?
I like announcer packs. I think that they are a great way for people to, to shape their audio experience and fill it with stuff that makes them happy.
Yes.
I would, when I was working on Dibs and Zeri's VO, I'd just like stagger out of my office and be like, I feel like I want to vomit rainbows right now. There's just like too much cute. And so, if you just want to surround yourself with cute, I think, our game is about, giving players what they want, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we really want to do. So like
allowing them to shape their experience, one might say.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry. It's wait.
That's the Dawn Gate way. Wait.
No. Oh God, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
I think announcer packs are great. I like them.
Okay. CBB692. Can we get a Joe, don't call me Joe Miller announcer pack? What?
I don't know. I think I need to go look that up, I guess, when I get back to my desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see. There's some other questions here. And great, now one has to show a GIF of us vomiting rainbows.
Yes.
That should be easy.
Yeah.
That exists out there.
Uh-huh.
Let's see here. So Terrelther wants to ask, which characters do you feel like have the best? Joe Miller is an esports caster.
Ah. Well.
Is that the really excitable guy who sounds like he's outcasting a soccer match?
It's possible.
It's possible.
I want that guy.
Okay, ESL caster guy. Okay. Yeah. I don't know their names. Like I know which ones I like because I hear him do the streams and stuff. Like there was a guy who there's one of those guys that I hear doing like every esport out there, like League, Dota, World of Tanks, like everything. Like his knowledge of games must just be encyclopedic to be able to shoutcast so many different games. And I think he started off like shoutcasting like Counter-Strike or something like that too, if I remember correctly.
Like,
that's going in the Wayback Machine.
Like real Counter-Strike, like 1.
Yes, before Source. Before there is no Counter-Strike after Source. I'm sorry, you young kids. Right. There is no such thing. Anyways, who was I? Who was I saying? Oh, he was asking. So what shapers do you feel like have the most interesting banter between them?
Interesting. I mean, I think it's fun to let people discover the banter combinations.
Yep.
Just by like, let's try these out. One that I'll just give one away.
Well, actually, here's a good one. Kind of an Easter egg for people to hunt for, maybe.
Yeah.
So Varian will be playable on Friday.
Yeah.
So who's currently in game that they should look for banter between Varian for?
Do you really want me to say?
Well, maybe give like one of them away. I think give him one. Give one.
Do I have to?
You want it all to be a surprise?
I want that one. I want Varian's banter to be a surprise.
Okay.
I will say this, that it's a very uncommon lane combo. So, but the Zeri Dibs has some really
Zeri and
cool,
Dibs.
Zeri
Yeah,
and Dibs
okay.
have some great banter.
Okay.
But I'll let you guys. I want people to try Varian out in some different combos.
With different combos. Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is kind of incentive to play different shapers. So, so hey, we are actually over time now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. Thank you very much to Caleb Neccobus with 2 C's, Epps, also known as Catbutt, according to. Yeah,
I'll see you
I
later.
went there. Oh, thank you very much.
Super fun.
I'm glad you had a good time. We'll
Yeah.
definitely have to do it again. I'm glad that the audience liked talking about audio. So be sure to check us out tomorrow at 1:30, around 1:30ish p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, where we're going to have our creative director playing our brand new shaper Varian. Patch. Yes, exactly. And then we'll also have. Don't forget, we'll also have on. Friday we're gonna have a test. I'm actually gonna put up an announcement for it shortly. So keep an eye out for patch notes tomorrow, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and until next time. Wait, no, hold on.
Hold still.
There you go. There we go. California. There. Bye.
Bye, everybody.